Are we officially?
I have 6:59. You may be recorded at any moment, but we haven't officially started.
My nephews.
There you go. 30. You're being picked up on that recording. Right, my laptop says 7 o'clock. And I see some folks online already, so if we're good, I'm gonna get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lucy Robbins Wells Library Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, February 9th, 2026. This is our regular meeting, and I'll turn it over to Elizabeth to start with our roll call.
George Bernalco.
Here.
Melissa Hasseley.
Here.
Jason Hip. David Corrigan.
Here, Jason is here.
No,
He'll be like that, he's coming back. Well, but I mean, he's. I don't know about that.
I can just put what time comes in.
Yep.
This is Dave Corrigan.
Yes, here.
Pam Canary. Colleen Crook.
Here.
Iris Larson. Leanne Mankey.
Here.
Joanne Mossy.
Here.
David Nagel.
Here.
Maureen O'Connor Lyon.
Here.
Chris Riley.
Here.
Christine Shushin.
Here.
Diane Stan.
Here.
Lisa Ashton.
Here.
Jennifer Hebert. Here. Sheila Rowell.
Here.
Kelly DeHaas.
She's online.
Thank you.
No. Oh, no, she was online before. Never mind.
So no. And AJ Niakos.
Here, hi guys.
Thank you.
So we had a few new names and new members. Welcome. I hope that we pronounced your names correctly. If not, let us know and we'll try to do better. Takes me a while sometimes with new names to get going through there. But we're just gonna go through our agenda, and if you have questions, raise your hand, speak up. If I don't call on you, it's probably because I didn't see you, unless there's a couple of people going, and then I'll get through to everyone. Public participation, anybody online for public participation?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go to town council liaison. AJ, that would be you. Do you have anything that you'd like to report or share from town council?
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't make it today, first of all. But let's see. We have our budget coming up, same as always. It's in the close future. Tomorrow's meeting, we're gonna have a special meeting before the regular meeting. We're going to be talking with the Permanent Municipal Building Committee about some building needs for the town, and then there will be a public forum to follow. And then on our agenda itself, nothing too crazy. So I think everyone's just kind of getting ready for the budget to really officially start.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have questions for AJ? All right. Thank you. Secretary's report, George Bernalco.
I said no.
No report.
No report. I'm sorry, it was mute. No report.
That's all right. We've got that. Thank you. Then the next would be an opportunity to review the minutes. Does anybody have any questions or updates on the minutes from last month?
I just had one comment, it's not really a correction. When we were talking about membership and Iris and her resignation. It was noted in the minutes that I don't have them in front of me, about the emeritus position. It was just worded. It was convoluted.
Worded
I mean,
awkwardly?
yeah, did submit a letter of resignation and then requested that, we consider her for an emeritus position. I think the way the minutes read, that we were expecting a separate letter, and that's nothing happened about in the
Okay. So where?
minor, very,
Just have to find that.
it was under F, I believe.
Where?
Yeah, here it is. Maureen O'Connor Lyons said Iris Larson will be submitting a letter of resignation, but will submit a letter for the emeritus position.
No, it was all in one letter.
Okay, so it could be letter of resignation and request
Yeah,
a letter.
and
A request to be
and
considered.
request to be considered for the emeritus. Yeah. And you think I don't read.
Okay, any discussion or questions on that? Any other updates or corrections? No? Then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved, Leanne.
Leanne, thank you.
Second, Maureen.
Maureen seconded. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, carries unanimously. Review of annual activities calendars, all right. I've got on I stuck with me, with stuff. So obviously we had our race meeting earlier. We need to button up our staff appreciation event. And for those of you who are new, every other year, although we've delayed it enough now that we are now in the even year rather than the odd year, the board takes the staff out to dinner. And we've done different formats over the time. Sometimes we'll go to a museum and get a tour and also have a dinner or something like that. But evolved over time that the staff had asked that we go out to dinner and visit and get to know each other, which is really the whole purpose of the staff appreciation dinner. So we are looking at setting something up. We always ask Lisa, our director, and Jen, our assistant director, to touch base with the staff and say, that's still the plan that you want, right? So they've come up with a couple of suggestions, right? One of them. The biggest problem, I will tell you quite frankly, and this is why the dinner is so important. Our staff was so busy that when we started talking about this in September and October, they said, we're too busy, can we do it later? And we couldn't do it in January or even talk about it because they were dealing with the Winterfest and winter reading and all of these other things that go on. So I don't know if we have any dates yet or not, but that's something that's on our activities. And we gotta nail that down. before
No, I
this year is
understand, but
gone.
you also got a book sale, and I'm just saying,
Yes.
we've got stuff coming up in the next 2
I
months.
know the marketplace
You know.
was mentioned,
Yes,
and I have not been, but I have since spoken with many people who just rave about
Yeah.
it.
yep, I've been there and I checked it out. As you go in, they have a room, it seats about 50 though, so I think we have to figure out head counts and what goes on and what sets up, because we've been very lucky with past venues in that space was not such an issue for us. So we could have, but usually what we do is have tables of 8 and we try to mix them up with trustees and staff. And it's trustees and staff, it's not spouses. or
And it's
anything
not
like that.
assigned seating.
No.
It's really a
Yeah.
mingle.
Grab a plate and mingle, so that's what we go through with that. So that's on our calendar. PEP is gonna be busy, I think. With doing some of their introduction of new members. But also at some point, we need to do the director's evaluation as that goes through. And I think, I'm gonna say that's it for what I have right now, and I put it in the front so I could find it. Let me just take a moment to look at the. Yeah. So it's the PEP evaluation, and for PEP's evaluation of the director, library budget, and 5K raise.
What is the date that we need to submit the evaluation? Do we have one?
Changes by town manager. But
We might have missed it.
I would say that we need to do it.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, Lisa?
Haven't gotten a heads up that you're supposed to go in.
When did you do evaluations? Do you remember? They've been in the fall.
Yeah.
We did it in the
while
fall.
ago.
I think it was like in October. Did we do it in October?
I think
Like
they're
before?
actually due in September. This was, but we had been told
So
last
It
September.
used to be April, but.
No, I know.
I was gonna say, so for us, what we should do is get it done by.
And just have it done and.
Just have it
Yes.
done.
Yes, to 'em.
And have it in his hand by June 30th, because then July 1st is a new year, and we can do it all over again.
Maybe AJ knows. AJ, do you know when the No,
The town manager.
It's all,
we got a calendar, and I believe March 21st is when the library has their budget review. So I don't know when it's due exactly, but that's when the presentation is going to happen.
but it's not the director's evaluation. Okay, all
Yeah.
right,
So
thank
he- Okay, so, thank you. That's the, activities calendar. We have new folks on board, so when they get through their first meeting with PEP, we'll start talking about committees, we can assign them to, and so that might be, rolling through again, but most of our chair people are. And it's funny on the timing on this, Jason nicely last month, agreed to take the oh so important list and kind of keep track of it for us as we go through. This is the Anna timeline list.
Oh,
And try to keep us honest on it from when it comes to the race. So you can all tell him that, yes, he's doing that. He knows.
the
And,
meeting space.
For the 16th.
okay, don't do
I
that.
just asked for date.
I just have a question to clarify because I'm a little confused. I saw on our agenda that it was Saturday, March 15th for the budget presentation, but I thought I'd made notes when we met with the town manager that it was the 21st.
I think, AJ just said
Yeah, I
that.
think AJ said the 21st.
He just mentioned. the
AJ, did you say the 21st?
It is the 21st.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
no, I just wanted to make sure I had the right date.
Okay, we'll probably talk about this under budgets again too.
Okay.
But normally what happens is our staff puts together a budget and we move forward with the budget, presented to the town. So it's usually the director and, the chair of budget. And they go through and then the town council gets the budget submitted, and reviews the budget submitted by the town manager. And that's the meeting that's on Saturday, the 21st, when it comes up. And we usually like to have, board members in attendance. It can be a rough day because you don't know exactly what your time slot is. And if you're not the first time slot, you don't know when. They make an estimated time, right? So your time is between 9 and 9:30.
She's saying pack a lunch.
Yeah,
At least bring water.
so,
And we'll get, it, right now they have us again second, but I think AJ might know the answer to this. There's always something before they even get to the departments. It takes a lot of time. Do you know, AJ, remember?
Yeah, there's kind of, they like to say brief, but it's kind of just like a holistic overview of everything that we're going to be talking about that day. And it usually takes a little time.
okay. So the overview, okay. So if you have time on that, Saturday, March 21st, that's a good time to be there to see if you haven't gone through a budget process. Bless them, it's a lot of work. They put a lot of effort into it. Our staff has put a lot of effort into our budget process, but they are long days and months for town council. So,
Are we actually assigned a time though?
no,
We're just second in the slot.
no, it's just, it starts. It goes until dark. And you figure out where your time is in between there. Okay. So, from that, I'll move on to treasurer's report with Leanne Mankey.
All right, I did send out, the treasurer's report for a period ending January 31st. We are current, I also sent out the investments or reports as well. I know that's farther down on the agenda. But,
That's also gonna transition to Jason.
yep, the TD checking, unrestricted funds is currently at 97,693. And 63 cents, as I mentioned earlier, the race sponsors in January that came in was $7,100, and we've received sums in the beginning of January, so it's been a good early return on the sponsorships. So the race monies, obviously the registrations come in later on. We did have some expenses, and the final Hanel programming expenses did come out of that, so now the restricted funds are. I did get the transfer from the Hanel funds so that we reimbursed all of our accounts, so that's all taken care of in terms of balance of restricted and unrestricted. The restricted funds has a balance of $57,239.84. Both those accounts are accessible at TD. At Kingston, Wealth management, our non-investment account currently stands at $448,955.56. Our investment of unrestricted and restricted funds is at $477,999.85. The Hanel endowment is at $477, $439.83. And as I said, we did pull the monies from the October and December out of there. The balance on the Margaret Hooker, which we can use and we transfer over the income for operating, it goes into the unrestricted accounts, is currently at $426,465.23, with the baseline at $342,898 and 12 cents. So that balance, the difference is accessible to us if we require it, but it is in its own account. I did get the 1099s out, I drafted them up and then put them into the account. They filed them and we did have a $50 fee. I can't say enough about Kingston Wealth Management, to be perfectly honest. I have had other nonprofits that I work for, and to file a 1099 is $125 for the first one and $25 for all the others. So I mean, they did 16 of them for me for $50. So I can't quibble. They are definitely a big supporter for us. Regarding Jason coming on as investment, I do have to connect with him, but Dean does want to meet up with us because it's time for a meeting. All are welcome to come to an investment meeting, but we'll go over and see what our needs are. So, there are going to be some monies that have to be outlaid. I'll probably pull them at this point from, we have monies in the unrestricted account, but we have contract currently with, I'm just sending it back tomorrow with the deposit. We have finally confirmed a contract with the door contractor, Cronenberger and Sons. We have to put 50% upfront. It's currently, so it's 38.3 for the whole. We are applying for grants. 19,150 will go tomorrow to them and with a signed contract. And the work is scheduled for May 1st, finished by July 30th. Working with Joe Salomon, and we're trying to find other funding, but at this point, as we committed to the larger amount at last meeting, we are more than covered. We did get some other quotes in, and Cronenberger was the best place for us to go. They're very experienced. And other than that, that's all I have for treasurer, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. Usage of the square for the race, met with the bank for us to consider. To avoid the fees, we can do tap to touch, but that requires the people who take the payment to be on the account. That would be Diane, myself, and Chris. And they have to have an iPhone, so that eliminates Diane. So anything that would have to be.
My part.
So it means that Chris or I would always have to be there for the registration fees or anything else. So while that's doesn't have, and you still have the 2.75% to the MasterCard. The alternative is a merchant's, like get a tablet so that we can have multiple login, much like the Friends have. We have the disadvantage of we typically only do like once a year income, but we potentially could do more if we're going to be going out and raising monies for an expansion. The Afghans come to mind. If we're going to start selling those and revamping those, we can do those purchases. Cost for that, we'd have to buy a tablet. There's a $179 one-time fee, and then it's $15 a month. After that, if you take $1,000 in, you eliminate the $25 fee, and say you take only 500 in, you'd have $12.50. But if you have nothing coming in, you'll have the $25 fee. So we're gonna have a cost per month to maintain that. But it is not ideal for us to continually use the Friends tablet. So if we're going to get involved in a merchants thing, it's a month-to-month enrollment.
Is that a square reader or no?
It would be a square on a tablet and, but it's a merchant, but as I said, to avoid the fees, we'd have to go with the tap, and I think it's too restrictive to just have the people who are on the account. Plus, it makes it difficult in the sense that I'm not treasurer next year. Now you're changing folks on it, whereas this particular piece of equipment could be something that, you know, once you have people being able to log on. We have to consider it doesn't take, I should be able to order it by next month to get it started if we're gonna have it for May.
And tablets are reasonable.
Well, the reason I'm asking that question is you can actually, the soccer club of Newington actually bought a handheld device that has everything, so you don't have to have, because with a tablet, you still have to have the reader,
Right.
and so it's two different things.
Well, they're gonna look, I mean,
Exactly.
it is that, like I said, we have to pay for some type of a device. We were talking about a tablet. But, you know, specifically, we could do that, but you do have those assorted fees. Plus, you have to keep in mind, just much like when we use the Friends, there's that fee for having a credit card purchase. But last year, Jen kept track of things for me. And, we had, for all the Venmo and PayPal aspect, we only had 9 people use it. People just don't typically have them in their phone, whereas the MasterCard was, something, we
They'll
had
just
race
be-
registrations that totaled out to $475 and money collected for Bill Rogers sales, because they.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, we
Was
helped them out with that too.
485, so there was almost $1,000 on race day. We just have to balance out whether it's worthwhile for keeping it going, and as I said, as we look forward to our potential expansion and maybe expanding beyond our typical once a year, we might want to have
So
access.
I'm just thinking of like a Hanel concert. You could
Exactly.
easily get, people might make a donation that night. and A lot
Exactly.
of people are not carrying cash anymore,
Right.
but
Right,
they might make a donation.
well, if we have it here and say, would you like to contribute, it's right here, and and again, it doesn't have to be Chris or I standing
Right,
there or
right,
whoever's the
right.
officer.
Right, exactly.
But is there a monthly fee, you said?
There's monthly fees when you have merchant cards, and that's what this is. This is a merchant card. The tap to pay is the one you can do on the phone, but it has to be somebody who's on signer on the account.
Okay, because I don't know. Because I have one for my women's skills and I bought a tablet, bought the device for $50 and only pay the percentage fee per transaction.
Well, if you want to send me the information, I'll
So-
take a look at it.
You just got contact, you just order it from Square
And just,
and then you set it up. And then link it to your checking account.
okay, well, I went to
And
TD
then-
because that's where our checking.
Okay, so you're
account
going
is.
through the bank, that's why
Yes.
you're paying for it.
Okay, so
So
send
that's
me
why
that
they-
and I'm all about it because I don't do it.
I
So,
was like, why should you pay? You don't have
I
to.
do think the Friends pay just they don't pay a monthly fee.
No, you just pay the percentage
Right,
fee.
it's a,
right?
right.
Yeah, that's
Pay
it.
the-
okay.
Every
well, I
transaction.
will,
Just
I'll
Square.
check, I'll
Just
check
go
out
to
Square.
Square.
Okay, hopefully I have more answers
So
for
you
you.
buy your $150 or $45 to $125 tablet, don't go crazy. And then you pay $50 for that thing, and then,
I'll
That's
ask Jason
Good.
too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see it, but I just wanted to be aware we might have some costs, but I'm working on it.
okay,
Anyway,
And that
But
also
they're not
is an
absorbed.
easier way for us to get, if we have this in some fashion.
Yeah.
Easy way, some of our sponsors like to pay by credit card.
Yep.
right,
And we would use it for that as well.
right, and you could set up like what it's for, and you can print reports,
yep,
so.
okay.
Leanne, if I may ask you, for the new folk, could you just do a quick explanation of restricted, unrestricted, and then talk about the door?
Okay.
And before that, does this come out in an email to the I didn't get an email.
I thought I
Oh.
sent it out to you.
Didn't see it.
All right, I can
Oh.
resend them to you. You get the investment report and treasurer's report typically from me, and then
Maybe with spam. Check.
but if, and then Carolyn usually sends you your agendas and everything else, so.
I got the agenda from the website.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's not added up.
Yeah, unrestricted funds we can use for operating expenses. Restricted funds, depending.
These are all donations. This is how we get our. donations.
We are a free library. We don't charge for
Raise
anything.
or donations.
We have a big fundraiser, the race, that's where our cash comes in. We have approximately $25,000 of operating expenses, insurance, accounting, all the other things that have to happen just for the sake of Lucy Robbins Wells Library Inc. The unrestricted funds the board can utilize for whether it's a door improvement, building improvements, other assorted things. But we have other funds where people specifically gave like in memory of someone. Or in the case of the Hanel Endowment, that is for cultural events only. In the case of the Hooker gift that you see on here, the person who bestowed that wants us to leave the principal, but we can use the interest for anything that we wish. We have large print books, we have, specialty, Dr. Polino left for the book fund. I mean, there are various things, and those funds can only be used for specific things. Another report that you don't get on a monthly basis breaks down the usage there. We have STEM grants that have come in that have to be for specific teen and children's programs, that type of thing. Those are all under a restricted accounting.
For the unrestricted funds, what's the threshold that requires board approval?
We read pretty much most everything that's larger, and we have the standard accounts, like, for example, there are some bills that just automatically happen, like insurance and things like that, that just go right through. But like, we'll come back and authorize, for example, the board last month authorized the ability to go to $55,000 on the door.
Not to exceed, yeah.
Yeah, not to exceed.
Not to exceed, yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to recoup some of that through grants or town funding.
Could you explain about the door though, with the, what
So
that
we
is to the new folk?
Well, that'll be under house. They can.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna do it under house.
Yeah, let's not run the whole meeting through the treasurer.
Please, I don't want to even put that.
I know, it's hard because she's wearing many hats, so, when she gets the floor, it's hard to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Any other questions for Deanne or on any of the things we talked about from the treasurer's report? Dave, you'll get the report and we'll make sure that, all the new folks get the report. Did you get it?
Thanks.
Did you get the report?
I got it.
Yeah.
I'll check my spam, maybe it's for.
Okay, so, sorry, were there any questions?
Well, we should get an updated, member list.
We should, we're working on that.
Yeah, so otherwise you're not gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Library director's report. She's the master.
Okay, the winter reading programs kicked off last week, for the, children, teens and adults. The adult kicked off last Wednesday. We had 200 people come out in the freezing cold weather to sign up. We're just about at 300 right now. Children's and teens kicked off last Monday. They did like a they didn't have a program this year. But they opened last Monday. They did have the Take Your Child to the Library Day on February 7th, which is Saturday, and they had a decent turnout considering it was snowing in the morning and it was freezing cold. They made goodie bags, Yeti and snow themed goodie bags that kids could take home, grab and go goodie bags. And they were saying Saturday and Sunday were busy up in the children's room, so that was nice to hear. We were closed on January 26th due to the snow.
18 inches.
Yeah. Yes, which was a Monday. We actually closed Sunday and Monday of that week. Staff were very happy. I'm gonna, on the February 24th at the town council meeting, I'm on the 250th celebration committee for the town. I am on it, Jamie Trevathan, Bill DeMayo, Mary Wood is chairing it.
Oh, wow.
And, there's a few other, or Phil, I think there's a few other people, but the town council just wants like a brief overview of what some things that are gonna be done to celebrate. I can't say the word, but the 250th, there's a specific, Mary can say it, so she's gonna say it on February 24th. Yeah. So it's just talking about some events that we're gonna be doing in town to celebrate America's 250th. I'm there more for moral support. Mary's gonna do all the talking. We'll have a few slides.
Interesting that she's going to do it, because we spoke about her last meeting with her affiliation with the DA.
Yeah, she's very much into something like that. So that's coming up, and I know we're gonna talk about building stuff in under house, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I have lots to talk about there. And just one other thing, just to bring to your attention, and I'm gonna forward the email to you. the governor is proposing cutting the borrow it account in the state budget by 20%.
Oh, God.
And this is money that all the public libraries receive to participate in the lending, the statewide lending. So it's an incentive for libraries to lend their materials to other libraries and also to be able to get them back. And he's proposing a 20% cut. What it means for each library is if you lend more than you borrow, you get more money back from the state. They have a finite amount, but you get more money. So it'd be a 20% cut to what you would normally get. And it's really, it's an incentive for people, for libraries to lend their materials, because it's work. It's work to package up these materials, get them ready for the state or for the delivery system we use, and send them out, and then process everything again when they come back, or get other libraries' materials ready to send out again back to the owning library. So their concern is that libraries won't be able to lend as much, which is not really cost effective, because that way, you're sharing your collection, but the benefit to us is we can borrow from other libraries too for our patrons. And also, our libraries are gonna opt out completely from lending materials. So they're asking everybody to let the governor know and your state representatives know that you're completely against the cut. So I was gonna forward the email tomorrow morning to all of you, and it tells you how you can do it online. It gives you a boilerplate if you wanted to send something to them. They need to have it in by the February 17th. But I'm gonna, encourage everybody to just write, because it's a great program for the state. Not every state does this. And it allows us to be able to offer great materials to our patrons that we can't necessarily own or buy. So I just, I'm really not happy that he's doing that. I mean, I don't understand it, so.
Well, that's the whole process. They keep talking about sharing communities and expenses, and I think this is a perfect example where, we don't buy every book that every patron needs, but the different libraries buy them, and then you can borrow them between the libraries. Now we become silos again, and, one of two things happens. Either our book budget goes out of this world, or our book selection drops down.
Or you have to drive
We
to
can
that
afford.
library.
Right, so you have to drive,
And
so,
bring it back to them.
yeah, if you're not familiar with it, you could go online, you could reserve a book that's in Manchester, but you don't have to drive to Manchester. It can come here and then, it goes back and forth automatically. But, it's more than just the convenience of, driving back and forth. It really works pretty well into the whole collections management. What books are we gonna buy? What are we not gonna buy? What kind of money do we have? Somebody else has those books and you know about it, you're gonna put your funding into maybe some books that are not readily available.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Lisa? Any online? Would be in my honest eyes online, right? Okay, that's the one problem. You're always welcome to join online, but when you join online, you're only this big. And I keep looking here and not there, which is why I have my laptop in front of me so I can see that. So, but if you're ever there and trying to raise your hand and I'm not paying any attention, speak up. Okay, Assistant Director's Report, Jennifer Heath.
So, I'm doing okay.
I just took this position within the last month.
Yes. Okay, so, personnel wise, circulation substitutes, that those positions, we did our interviews. We did our discussion and we think we made our decision, so the next couple of days, the offer will go out. So hopefully that will go well. After that, we have some openings for pages. These are either our high school or college age, people who reshelve books, for our pages. So we are down and we need to hire a couple more, especially with the summer coming up rather quickly. We might lose even more. So we need to work on that. Testing was completed, this past weekend, and we now get to grade them and to see who we want to interview. So we're moving forward on that as well.
Testing for the pages.
So going through. After that, hotspots are out that are funded, through a certain grant. We got new hotspots, got 10 of them, and they're out for the public to use, so that's going well. It's really well.
And this is a 3-year grant that the board was paying for.
Yeah.
So we got a grant to pay for 10 hotspots, circulating hotspots for the
The ones
community.
the ones we had before were either, really old. So the battery was going, they were like 4G instead of 5G, and we were down from like 10 to like 5 because some wouldn't come back. So we needed to upgrade. And the last thing is I'm still training Michelle Tatno. She's our new head of reference. She took my job. And so there's been a lot of training and she's doing great, but it's a lot. And we're just working on that. Slow and steady, so I don't overwhelm her.
Super.
Thank you.
Any questions for Jen? I don't know if I should ask this online or not, but do you regret, putting your name in here? We're happy to have you.
I have never felt so busy. Good, this is good.
Great, okay. Friends in the library, Sheila Roth. Well, we're right now in sort of a little hiatus, we're not doing much, we finished the Winter Fest. Taking a whole week off, are you? We're gonna happen. Go for, I don't have the, net on the, Winter Fest, but as of this morning, the gross was, 16,500.
Excellent.
So and everybody seemed to have a really good time and, certainly the liquor vendors were very happy. Because everybody was, that's where everybody was, a lot of people were. But everybody, the music, everybody loved everything about it, so that was a big success. So now we're taking a little hiatus until because we're gonna start working on a book sale again. What's the date for that book sale? April 20.
Hold on.
24, 25, 26.
24, 25, 26, yeah. So we're getting ready for that one. We do have a little problem, we're gonna be looking for some volunteers for the, takedown on Sunday. Because we don't have the Boy Scouts for Sunday.
You don't have one?
Don't have the Boy Scouts. Because they're camping trip.
Oh.
The date was a little bit earlier than normal, and that's their typical.
That's their
time they
big,
go
that's
do
their
their
big
camping.
weekend trip.
So they're Thursday, they'll be able to help us do the transfer, but Sunday, they don't figure. they're gonna be able
How
to
many
come and help.
kids?
We're gonna need like 12, 14. Usually you get the parents though too, which is kind of nice,
Yeah.
so.
Well, the one thing is that the camping trips, because I'm married to one of the leaders, they usually come home late morning.
But they're
But they're like white.
yeah,
they're
the
white,
feeling
yeah,
is they're not
sure,
gonna be,
so,
they're not
you
gonna
know,
Oh,
want
yeah,
to.
they smell bad too.
Smell at that point, they're
The
just.
big thing that we do on, the big thing that we do on that day is you have to, this truck arrives with the bins to take the books. So we're dumping books in that, we're putting the senior center back, and then we're furiously cutting as many boxes down as we can cut down. Well, you have to cut them all down.
Can we go out and perhaps appeal to CERT to help us?
I don't know.
I don't
They
know
do
if that's,
something like that.
well, I mean, they help us with the race, but
Well,
that's
we
the
can-
safety
we can
aspect.
also
How about the Key Club?
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
I'm
the
sure
high
that
school, we're gonna ask, you know.
they're gonna be looking for hours about then, and I don't think the proms, I think it's too early, I'm not sure about prom weekend.
Well, the reason
It's
I
not
thought about
April.
CERT is they have access to the box truck, which you might need for.
No, we already
transport.
booked the box truck.
Oh, you did,
Yeah.
okay, all
Yeah, the
right.
town gets us the box truck.
Yeah, we don't need a truck for that, no, we haven't enough, we just have to bring back the stuff that we brought over.
So you need bodies.
Need
So
bodies.
Bodies just to take down everything, and they, you know, it's just taking boxes and dumping boxes.
How long does it usually take?
It's tables, and then the books that have not been sold get put into the large.
We closed at 3, and honestly, last year I think we were done by 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we wanna get out of there, so
Sure.
we take no prisoners.
You know, we have a couple of people who are, you know, we have a very good box person who cuts them down constantly, you know, as they're going, so he keeps moving them back over and stuff like that. So, we'll just have to organize a little bit better. I mean, the kids used to enjoy it,
Because they used to just love taking the boxes and dumping them into the, whatever the bins, the big, huge bins.
Gaylords.
The Gaylords, yeah.
For new members, that they appeal to the library board to assist if you can.
It's fun. It's fun to watch.
It is
the
actually
kids.
fun.
It's, yeah, you know, we all enjoy the whole thing, even though it's a lot of work. So that's where we're going.
Alright. Any other questions for Sheila regarding Brandon? No? Anything online? No. Okay, next up is committee reports, budget, Leanne.
Met with the town manager with the budget that was prepared by staff to move forward. We asked for a $10,000 increase for the digital aspect of it, and finance and the town manager seemed to be receptive to listening to it. We'll see if it continues on to the actual prepared budget. And March 21st is our day.
Okay. Any questions on budget at this point? Planning, evaluation and policy, Maureen Lyons.
Yes, exciting time for that. I have requested a meeting room for the week of the 16th. So when I get availability, I'll be sending an email to the PEP folks who would, all the new people are included, and then others for a meeting. And just to, you know, to go over what we do. I mean, it's planning, evaluation and policy. So we'll hopefully have a packet of all our policies. Some of the policies we create internally. Some are mandated by the state library. So there's a lot going on, everything from behavior to, you know, programming policies, etc. So I am very pleased to announce that we have 4 new members on the board. Dave Horgan, whom we all met last meeting. He's one of our town representatives. I'd like to welcome Dave Nagel back. Dave's been, Diane had mentioned he was a board member, then he was a town councilor, and he was the liaison from the town. And then when he didn't choose to run again for election, we thought we were losing him, but somebody roped him in, and we're very happy. And he knows everything. And then we have Melissa Hasley. Hasley. Yes. Okay, see, this is good to know. Hasley and Joanne Massey, who are our new corporate members. Iris Larson's name had been mentioned earlier a couple of times. Iris is a member who resigned. And we'll have to do that separately, but offering her an emeritus position. So we do have one or two corporate.
One.
Just one. So with Iris's resignation, we'll still need a corporate body. But what I would like to do at this juncture is just very briefly have Joanne and Dave and Melissa let's start with Jen.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hebert. I'm the Assistant Library Director, and I've only been that for a month or so.
How long have you been here?
Oh, okay. I've been working at the library full time for about 15 years now, so it's been a while. But yeah, I worked my way up, so I'm sure I like it. So thank you.
I'm Lisa Maston, the library director, and I've been here, this is gonna be my, what is it? I think it's actually gonna be my 30th year.
Wow. Did you start the year the races started?
I didn't do it the first year though. I did it the second year, so.
This is the 20th race. Or no, it might be the 30th because
Oh,
we
we
skipped a year.
Yeah.
But I started, I actually started as the department head for collection management, which is our tech services. And then I was the assistant director, and then I became the director in 2013. So I became director. You're next.
I'm Sheila Rowell, and I'm a retired nurse type who has been working at the library since I retired, and really gotten involved in the book sales. I'm presently the vice president of Friends, which is going to end very shortly because I've been doing it 4 years now. But I'll continue to work on the book sales.
You have term limits?
President Sushan. Just a board member. No,
That's all.
that's-
There's no such thing as just.
Right? So, there's a lot, but.
So I guess, or me, as I said, I guess then we'll do the new.
Yeah.
So what we do? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm Chris Riley. I'm the vice president of the board. I am also the chair on the facility and site committee, which is basically the committee that's looking into the library expansion project. I'm also, I was gonna say this later, but I'm also recently elected as the chair of LARC, which is the Library Additions Renovations Committee. So, all in the purpose of trying to get our library bigger and better.
I'm Leanne Mankey. I'm current treasurer of the board. I'm also a member of the LARC committee, the library building committee. I've been on the board since 2005 or 6, something like that. And I also on the investment committee. I'm kind of the current interim chair. So I'm turning it over to Jason. So that's, I try to keep church and state separate. I am a numbers person by trade. And I was in the construction business for 40 years, so.
Right.
Yeah, Maureen.
Maureen O'Connor Lyons. I have been a member of the board longer than Lisa has been around. I don't know how that happened. It just did, but I've loved every minute of it, and I've worn many hats. I think the only hat I didn't wear was probably treasurer, because I can't count. But other than that, I have chaired every other committee and been involved in so many ways. And I think this might be my second time around as chair of PEP, at least second. And ask me any questions, I'll try to remember what's going on.
Go ahead, Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason Hip. I'm in the, I guess, the Republican seat for the board here. 1 year, I've helped out with the race and, the children, I have 2, they're about 16 and 12. But we always come here and, we've enjoyed the resources and the facilities here. So, whenever I helped out or, with the Republican Town Committee, they felt like I would be an asset for being on the board here, so hence why I'm here.
And we're happy to have you.
Very glad to be here.
Dave, and then get ready,
Yeah,
folks that are online.
About the people online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I was gonna, cause you're new, right? Are you new?
I've been around.
I'm gonna count you as new. And I'm gonna go online, Pauline or George, whoever starts first.
Okay, I am one of the Democratic reps for the library board. I've been on and off for maybe 3 different library directors, on and off. And I'm presently on communications and on PEP. I don't know if I'm on anything else right now. I also am not on investment or budget because I also can't count. But
but if there's any questions anyone, has, I don't have the memory of Maureen. but for what's going on, but I've been here for a while, so if you have any questions, you can talk to me.
Thanks, Pauline. George?
Yes, I'm George Bernaco. I'm part of I'm the secretary of the board. I'm also the chair of the communications. And I've been on the board for about, I think, 3 years at this point. So welcome, everyone.
And I'm Diane Stam. I'm the current president of the board. When I came on board, Maureen was the president of the board many, many years ago. And I think Maureen and I are the ones with the most longevity at this point. Because Leanne came on shortly after.
And also as president, I was 3 terms, and are you in your 4th?
I became president, just before COVID. And I forgot to step back, right? So I had become vice president and I was happy doing that, working to other things that were going on. And then I became president in COVID. And then COVID kind of annihilated our numbers, not from people passing away, let me be clear on that. But it became hard for folks, plus, with much of the Zoom meetings and things like that, they weren't getting the interaction that they wanted, right? So people would drop off or get reassigned, or a lot of lives changed, things changed differently. That's how we ended up with the telemeetings all the time, which is great, because you can sign in if you're not feeling well, you're not so sick that, you have to be in bed, but you're like, you know what? I don't want to pass this to my friends. Please sign in remote. If you're traveling or you just can't get here, whatever it is, make use of that. That goes on. So, my work history, I've been in telecom, I've been in facility management. I'm a professional president of the library. I am looking to groom the other folks that are corporate members to get them to step in. Fortunately or unfortunately, they've been so good at the tasks that they've taken on. When they say, I'd like another year here, I'm like, 1. But the way our board is made up, if you are a corporate member, you are eligible to become an officer of the board, which would be the president, the vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer. The treasurer, because there's a lot of paperwork and getting accounts and stuff like that, we like a commitment for the treasurer to be in place for a while. Normally, our presidents don't stay as presidents for as long as I have, so be prepared. We're looking to get a little deeper and wider to go through that, but I will say that I grew up in this town and I thought I knew what the library was all about. And I didn't. I am so amazed at how much work they do here, how community oriented they are, how friendly they are. And I know the staff has heard me say this many times, but in my work life, I was dealing with one of my customers in another professional capacity or whatever, and I had happened to mention that, he was like, oh, I'm sorry I kept you late. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I was in West Hartford. I'm like, I'm fine. I just live one town over. You're doing me a favor, keeping me here. And I go, Newington. I love their library. And it makes you feel so good when you hear that. And when you're part of the board, and of course, then I kind of went through that. I'm like, so what do you like about it, right? And again, it was the staff, it was the atmosphere, it was the friendliness, that came across. So, I never knew all the things that the library did. I've lived in this town my whole life, and I never knew all the things that the library does and how integrated they are into the community. All the things like the hotspots, who knew? And granted, when I joined the library board, we didn't have hotspots then, but all the different things that we try to do for our community and what happens in there, and that's what keeps me coming back and doing the work along with the spirit of community on the board. So again, for the new folks, welcome. Ask questions, get prepared, we kind of roll up our sleeves and go through things. Our meetings hopefully will not always be very long, but when we have to, we will talk about it, so we won't necessarily go around and around. I'm gonna go to Dave as the first new member because he's the new old member. And then I'll go to-
My second meeting. Dave Horgan, my professional career was in construction, financial management, for civil, heavy and highway companies. I've been retired 7.5 years now, but I still get called to work once a week, so
There you go.
never really retired, I don't think. I'm excited to be here because after just 2 meetings, I can tell what the energy you folks have. And it's an important time for the library, I can tell with the potential construction renovations. I have a little construction experience in finance, maybe I could help there.
Great.
But this is an exciting time for you guys and I'm glad to be here. And just one quick observation, I did some quick math and Lisa must have started when she was 12.
And I was 15.
And I was old.
Great, thank you, Dave. Ladies?
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Hazley. I've lived in Newington for maybe 32 years. Before that, I lived in Meriden and Milford. I'm originally from Wisconsin though, so I'm not from Connecticut, but I do love it out here. I came out here after I interviewed for a position, a corporate position, and I was a corporate, a middle manager for TRW for 20 years. And then I left and went into the mortgage business, just because it was different. And I enjoyed it. And I'm also a HUD certified counselor for, excuse me, first-time home buyers and for reverse mortgage customers. And I've done some other volunteer work in town here for different organizations. And I'm excited to be on the library board because I think the library is great. I love our library and I always talk it up to everybody.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
But I will say that I think we have some very unique libraries in the state of Connecticut.
We do.
In different towns, so I've been to quite a few of them.
This group of people will most likely just casually walk into a library during their vacations in another town or state. So yes, we've all been caught guilty of doing.
We've all done it.
There are great libraries everywhere, no matter how they look and what goes on. And I love to see what they do and see what we could apply for our area.
Actually, at one point, at our last meeting is in June. We don't meet in July and August, but one president, I think it might have been Marie Dowling, she always gave us homework and it was go visit other libraries. You know, if you're on vacation, visit or just wander into the next town or whatever. It's interesting to see the similarities and the big differences.
Yes.
Joanne?
Too.
Hi, I'm Joanne Massey. I'm a lifelong resident of Newington and this library has been a part of my heart since I was old enough to read. But Diane, you say it so eloquently. I had no idea what went on here in the book. So this is eye-opening and very exciting for me to be able to be a part of this. So I look forward to working with all of you. My work background, I work in the hospitality industry. I'm a regional director of human resources for a company based out of Kentucky. So I handle human resources for about 30 hotels across the country. But look very forward to being a part of this group. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
And did we forget AJ on? Well, after
Well,
Dave?
I'm gonna go to Dave and we'll go to AJ and we'll go to Elizabeth.
I've been around. No, I've been on and off the library board in one position or another for the past 20 years. I was on the town council off on for the last 20 years. Been a resident of Newington for 42 years. And done a lot of different things in town. I've been on the Newington Historic Society for the past 25 years. I'm now its president. I was its president 24 years ago. And former educator and obviously, English, high school, so that's what brought me here, when I moved to town, there are tons of other things you can ask. I've been around on all different kinds of committees, connection with the library and other buildings and all kinds of stuff.
We
And you're-
regularly pick his brain.
Hmm?
We regularly pick your brain.
Don't forget,
Used to.
Dave, don't forget your artistic side with the.
Oh, yes, and also that's how Maureen, I, was a drama director and coach when I taught high school. I've been, the president on boards and directed, at several community theaters in the area, Mark Twain Maskers, Maureen.
New Britain
And
Rep.
also the New Britain Rep.
Yep.
Manchester Community Theater, I did 1 or 2 shows out there. So, I have that extensive.
That's
background
our
as well.
connection
Yeah.
with the.
Aren't you impressed?
AJ, are you out there? You wanna come off mute and just share a few things? Nope, so he's our one of our town council liaisons.
Yeah, of course. Hi, guys. Yeah, my name's AJ. I've been on the council for 3 years now. My first year being the liaison for you guys, so I'm excited about that. I'm on a handful of other committees. I'm a claims supervisor for Progressive Insurance, so I work in town here over by Fenn Road. And a little unrelated, but I know I'm just one guy, but I could also help you guys out for the book sale in April, so you have me at least. No,
Yeah.
no.
She's writing it down, AJ.
Yeah, no, more than happy.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Elizabeth over here. She's our secretary. She's relatively new, although you've been here for a couple years now.
So it's longer than I think. I want to say about 5 years, maybe 4.
Has it been 5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, it doesn't feel like it's possible. She is our secretary. She takes all our notes so that we can talk and go through this. And I will say that when she came on brand new, I used to have her right here. Cause I wanted to help her, right? She didn't need my help. She's amazing in the way that she can take notes and go through, and I'm like, did you get that? Could you make sense of that? And she does. You'll see, the minutes that come, she's responsible for them. Is there other things that you wanna?
I'm not a great public speaker, but I really like taking the minutes for you guys. You guys are a really great group of people. I'm excited that there's some new faces here and kind of an old one because I know Melissa from a different board. So yeah, I'm just kind of happy.
Nice. So that's it. We do have one member, who couldn't make it tonight, Pamela, but you'll meet her at the PEP meetings and at the other things.
And
Kelly. And Kelly is, the other, town council liaison, and she's, doing double duty. She was at our race meeting and then she had to cut out to go to the Board of Ed meeting, so.
And she's a former board member.
Yes, and she's a former
So-
board member. So
Everybody is
busy
connected.
All right,
And so that's it. An exciting time for PEP. Again, I'm waiting to get a room availability and we'll have a formal meeting, get our bearings. And every new member is always assigned to the PEP committee because it's kind of the heart. You know, it tells you everything that's going on, but then also, you know, certainly welcome to participate in other things. And before I forget, Chris Riley, maybe Dave should be tapped for facilities. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. You're welcome, Dave.
We actually mentioned my first meeting.
Yeah, we did talk.
okay, so,
That's it.
thank you. Any other questions? We've pretty much gone through that, but I think it was well worth the time for folks to get to hear and know, what's what. Next up is investment, and I'll just go quickly. Jason has, nicely volunteered to take over the investment committee report. So Leanne gave the report earlier today, but she's gonna work with Jason, introduce him to Kingston, and then he'll be giving those reports.
You and I just
going
have to
forward.
coordinate so I can get you on the account and we can coordinate something with Dean. It's about time for another meeting.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, we can do that all for tonight. Okay, cool.
And anybody's welcome. We'll put out the date.
And then, I did mention that at one point we were very low on, board members, so some people wore more than one hat. House Committee, Diane Stamp, as we go through that with the help of the other, committee members that are on that board. But, one of the things that you've heard about is the door restoration. It's Churchill door, it's a historic door. It's not something that the town would normally look to completely revamp for us. So we've gone out for grants. Leanne and Chris did a lot of work to find grants, to find and interview or get bids from contractors that can help to replace that door. So she spoke about it earlier.
It's the front door on cedar in case you're.
It's a facade. It's not a real door anymore.
Mm.
If you go into the front building, there's bookcases there. When we put the addition on in 88, 89, that was
We
blocked
closed the
off.
door to see.
But the facade itself is considered historical. We're on the National Historical Register, so we have to work within those parameters. The millwork work is very involved and it's literally rotting on the front of the building.
Yeah, one of our patrons came in with the top finial once and said, here. Fortunately, because it's not a working door, not anyone's head, but,
We're scheduled for a May to July reworking restoration. Some of it has to be completely repaired. It's very involved because of the very intricate work. Joe Salomon has been really great about working with us, the town facilities director. He's gonna help us coordinate that, as well as the town is supposed to maintain the building. And depending upon budget, as well as folks who are in various places, as well as the mindset of the council, determines what is defined as maintenance. So unfortunately, over the course of the years, sometimes things have not been maintained as they should. So we're regrouping and he's going to work to make sure that the maintenance is proper once we get it restored.
Thank you. I'm gonna turn this next part over to Lisa. It's roof leaks and storm damage update.
My list.
Uh-oh.
So, a couple weeks ago, we had when the temperatures really started to drop, and this was after we had the first storm that had snow and stuff. Anyway, we had a leak in the attic, which is in the old building, and it leaked into the children's program room through the light fixture. So the ceiling has to be repainted in some area there, but we went up into the attic, which they made me go up into the attic for them to view. And they had to put plastic all along either side to catch the water, and they redirected it to bins to catch it. And the leak was coming from the slate roof, but because of the ice right now and the conditions, they really can't do much other than try to catch the water. It hasn't been leaking since last Friday. But we're waiting for the
Wednesday,
thaw.
they'll start again on Wednesday when it gets warm.
But good thing, one of the positives that came out of it was that we had to clean out the attic. There was some water damage to things, and there was a lot of old stuff, like old fixtures and stuff, so it looks a lot nicer up there that way, but they haven't finished what they're supposed to be doing. But they are monitoring it continuously to see if there's any new water coming in, but so far it's been dry. The second thing that happened after that was 2 Saturdays ago, the pipes froze in the front of the building. And it turns out it was in the front utility closet where the hot water heater is. A couple of the pipes froze there, and we found out because there was no hot water or really running water in the women's bathroom and the bathrooms upstairs in the children's room. What they ended up doing is, they ripped apart the whole utility closet. They took a lot of the walls out, because what they found is a lot of in the ceiling, some of the insulation had fallen, but there were also pipes that really hadn't been insulated properly. And they went through and they re-insulated everything in there. And they, put more insulation even in the walls and stuff. So if you go in there now, the temperature difference is amazing, because when you were in there and they removed, some of the ceiling tile or some of the ceiling there, you could actually feel the cold air just coming down in your head from outside. And they were able to block off, there was kind of an opening, a bigger opening from outside. So anyway, they fixed that. And that was, so this past weekend, we didn't have any frozen pipes in the front. And which is, this has been such an ongoing issue for years. Because of the ice dams and because of all the snow and ice that we have, we were having a real issue with ice dams in the front of the building, especially. It would start, when the sun came out during the day, it would start to thaw, and then the ramp got icy, the front steps got icy. So they were hacking away at the ice there, and they were, putting salt down, so to try to maintain that. They also, went down into the book sale room. It's always been really cold there. And, they put a heater in last year, but that just wasn't doing it. And one of the Friends volunteers went in they have a closet off the room. There were like gaping, you could feel cold air just blowing down on you from outside. So they just insulated the entire ceiling there, all around the pipes, put plexiglass on there. So now your room is bearable, right?
Yep.
It's not 100%.
It's not great, but
It's bearable.
it's like.
And then, today, we had a leak in the back room here. And it's in two areas. They think the water's running from one place and it's coming down in two locations. But again,
It's not coming down over our equipment. Our server room.
The server.
no,
Okay.
it's close to a couple desks, but they have it, they have pans in there to catch it, but they really can't do much until the ice starts to leave the roofs. But, so that's been my tales of woe for the past couple of weeks here. But I will say facilities has been wonderful. Over the last 2 weekends, they had people coming in on the weekends to check everything. So,
Joe and I had a conversation when we were talking about the door. We were also talking about, the roofs when we had the ice dams. All of our roofs, with the exception of the slate roof, which is the old building, are either 15 years or younger. The flat roof is the oldest one. So he is in the process of looking, because of the national historical aspect of it. They previously, it was 2 years ago, on the dormers, they did the historical shingles, which were acceptable under the National Register. The slate replacement is something that we're researching to find out if we can go with the historical shingles versus slate, because slate is not only is it expensive and it's difficult to maintain, a lot of insurance companies no longer cover it. So that's something we're looking at.
Unfortunately, and it's trouble, it points to how desperately we really need renovation and or a new building. Things just don't last forever.
Well, but I think it also demonstrates how, we're working on trying to do the door, right? And you're like, so what does the town pay for? What is, what does the library legacy funding and stuff pay for? And that's kind of how we split the difference. We do some of the more historic things, but not only historic. And if the town had money to, put into the historic and build that through, it could also go there. There's not a hard and fast rule in terms of what you pay for, but it is, I like to call it the three-legged stool, right? The Friends earn all this money for all the programs so that the town can have programs without it affecting directly our town budget, right? We pay for some things out of our unrestricted funds. And the town pays for, the maintenance and keeping the lights on and doing some of the other things. So it's truly a group effort in town to keep the library up and running and going. And I think, you've heard us call out Joe Solomon and his team all the time. He's just great when it comes to working with us and figuring things out.
Just quickly to keep in mind, when the dust settles or the water or whatever, the new members should have a tour
no, I understand.
of the library.
I I'm off a few days next week, so I was gonna
Yeah, it
plan
doesn't have to,
after.
be tomorrow, but,
No,
we go from our tours or from top to bottom.
I could show you all the.
You get to see, you know how Disney does the.
The skeletons and-
behind the scenes.
The underground tours.
Oh.
So,
So a question.
yes,
It sounds kind of gray to me, when the town pays for these services and when the library pays for them, there is a separate budget, correct?
The library has a budget, and when you come back to what the charter says from 1939, when this was arranged, with that town is supposed to cover operations, maintenance, and what they call increase and progress. However, there's no real definitive aspect, so it becomes interpretation about whether operations is just turning the lights on and paying salaries, or it's more involved in terms of what happens.
The leaky roof is maintenance.
right, and they fixed that. They absolutely
And no,
fixed that.
as I said, we have a very good town.
But-
Yeah.
They
But
are,
here's the thing, right, so you look in this room, the last time this room was renovated was 1988. When they look at their maintenance budget, they're not looking closely at the seams and things and say, well, wallpaper, do we strip it, do we paint it, do we replace it, what goes on? Is it falling down on top of our heads? No, so it's not gonna get passed in this, this season's town budget as it goes through. Carpet tiles, refurbishing things, the cleaning company, that's all paid for in the town budget, and that's, clearly maintaining it. Increase is where everybody starts to, figure out what happens. Replacing furniture, right? When the furniture in our teen area goes, when the nice soft seating, in the quiet areas and stuff goes, that usually doesn't end up on the town budget. You can debate whether it should be or shouldn't be, but traditionally, the board has stepped up and said, okay, let us refurbish this, replace it, and go through that. When we have the funding, and that was one of the reasons 30 years ago that the 5K race came in, because until that point, we didn't know what kind of money we'd have. Newington resident, George Hanel, he's the one that donated all that money. It's a restricted fund only for cultural events. I don't know, maybe Great Aunt Mary or Agatha or whoever, is gonna donate money and it will be unrestricted, so we know that we have that. One, we usually don't know they put us in their wills. Two, they don't usually tell us when they're gonna give us the money, right? You don't know how much, you don't know when, you don't know what's going on, and that's really the history behind the 5K race, is we needed a way to get money to come in so that we could do things, whether it's refurbishing areas that are not normally or not possible this year, this month, to be part of a town budget. Whether it was to do nice things that had never showed up in a library before, like hotspots. I never had a hotspot. I mean, let's face it, I never had a cell phone when I was in high school or college, right? Way back when. But now hotspots are something that people need. You can't, all the computers and stuff that we have here, all of these things that goes through, it gets through some of the repressions from the town. But it's always kind of a give and take. But that's really one of the reasons that the race came through, is they wanted to develop a program so that we could have things that came in. So that even though we're asking for sponsorship for the race, we had a vehicle to accept money. We had a vehicle to try and, it's a fun event for the town, it's not just going out and saying, hey, Dave, gotta check for a couple $1,000 for me, my kids need shoes, right? So it wasn't always that, it was a town event, people, got to know the library a little bit more and what happened, but it is so that we could build up funds so that we can do these things. Again, sometimes it's programming, sometimes it's equipment. When the e-readers first came out, it was the board that was paying the money for those. Is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? All these things, if you think of the history that the library does today, they didn't do 15 years ago. Where does that money come from? Sometimes the towns can, step up with it, sometimes not. So again, it is that three-legged stool.
Thank you.
Lisa and I are going back and forth, with notes and things. So, that's the damage update?
Yes.
Okay. And, to the point, the damage that comes in, some of the things that they repair when we've had the leaks before, that's the town insurance.
on the library that pays for that, okay? The insurance that we pay for is officers and directors,
It's said, we have the property,
and we have the property.
we own
next door.
the two lots where the parking
Basically
lot
a
are.
parking lot.
We bought those two properties, we own that land, we insure that land, general liability, we have business, and we have a crime policy.
And we also own.
Oh, we own this building too, but we own those
It's
two.
not a
too.
town building per se, it's
But we-
the
but we-
library inc.
Yeah, we have corporate insurance as well as the property insurance.
Yeah.
So, the next thing on my agenda is when we had done our walkthrough in November, we had talked about replacing one of the large carpets in the children's area. For those of you that may not have been in, it's like an 8x10 or 12 by whatever carpet. We have two of them in the children's area, and it helps settle people down for where they are. It also helps protect our real carpet, and as you go through that, and one of them, oh, we'll just call it tired. It was looking tired. So I had, asked Lisa to work with the, children's director and stuff to find another rug or something that could replace that and give us, an idea of the money, because we could buy that, right? Again, that's something that it makes sense for the board to do. And then the other thing, the scary part is that while the board owns this building, the board has no real storage in this building that's not begged, borrowed, and stolen from
No
anybody
room
else.
at the
So,
end.
the treasurer ends up having a lot of things in their, house, you know, and then it's anything else that we have. Now, we do have a safe deposit box, we do have some filing cabinets and stuff here. But we found a pocket of space that we could put a file cabinet in. And I was like, that's ours, it's ours, that's ours, it's ours. So, Lisa nicely got me some money for them, and the file cabinet is gonna be about $500, and the rug is $595. So,
The cabinet, I'm not sure if they're shipping on the.
Where's the cabinet going?
Down in the basement.
down in the basement.
Of course it is.
If you take the elevator down with your special key and you go
Yeah.
out to the side, right by the emergency door that goes out.
Oh, okay, well, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's a nice little gal. You would understand that right now, I have this word out, like, if anything happens to me, come see my husband, because there's stuff in the basement.
So,
It's all in the basement.
so to that end, we're thinking it's 500 plus possible shipping for the file cabinet, another, 600, I'll say, for the rug. So all you brilliant people, if I said just to cover whatever costs, would we approve, a not to exceed amount of $1,200 to purchase the rug for the children's area and the storage cabinet for the board of.
I'll make a
Trustees.
motion to approve $1,200 for the rug and the cabinet. Leanne.
Second, Maureen.
Any questions? Yes.
That seems like you're cutting it kind of close. Those numbers you mentioned were like bare bones. Why not make it a $1,500 not to exceed? In case there's extra shipping or taxes or.
I'll amend it to 1,500.
Maureen's nodding her head in case those of you who didn't hear the rattle. she is shaking her head.
There's a lot of marbles in there.
Good, Maureen. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Maureen. Any opposed? No? Thank you. The motion carries not to exceed $1,500 for those two items.
Hey, Diane, is this rug in the main children's area or in the program?
It's in the program area.
Programming.
Okay. So that's it for me for house, and we'll move on to facility and site with Christopher Riley.
All right, so facility and site, we've had several meetings and several work behind the scenes. As I said, this is the committee that does a lot of stuff towards the library expansion. One of the things I mentioned before when I introduced myself was on January 22nd at the LARC meeting, I was elected the chair of the LARC committee, so. Or I guess it's LARC. I say LARC committee, it's like ATM machine, you know, it's the same thing, so. Then And that's a meeting that's held every month, as I said, Leanne's, as well as a member on there. On January 27th, we had George, Lisa and Michelle Patno had had another meeting to discuss, videos for the library. We were kind of doing parallel efforts with the facility site of trying to not only, get prepared to present to town council, but also doing the community campaign, because you're gonna need even the non-library users to be able to, wanna vote for our expansion. So at the video meeting, we talked about tying into library events, tying into special holidays. There was video and pictures taken at Winterfest, so there was gonna be kind of a pull together for that, just to kind of show how much effort there is setting it up and taking it down, as well as the event itself. One of the things that was mentioned during the video meeting was that one of the most time consuming parts is editing. A couple of the other things that we mentioned too was having possibly like a behind the scenes of the library, kind of like the tours that the new members will get and everything, kind of be able to show the various sections. I think there was already video done for the children's department, if I remember, Lisa, from our meeting. There was someone had done a video, I thought of.
They did a video for Take Your Child to Library
Yeah.
Day, and they kind of showed.
Showed around the area. So what we were thinking is, we could break it up into like segments of, different areas of the library and kind of showcasing videos as well. As with the online race registration now, that would be another area that we could promote through videos. I know I had sent out a notice to the facility site communications committee members, if any of the new members would like to join either of those. We're always looking for help, and especially for these video meetings, we've been asking board members as well. I know Lisa's been asking staff members as well to try to see if we can pull some more people in there. Don't be afraid, you don't have to be necessarily in front of the camera, if you're camera shy, but we do need help, like we said, time consuming is editing, so that's some area that could be learned. Coming up, just even with ideas and kind of, like the scripts even, or trying to figure out, what we want to do in these videos, because we're trying to do a lot of like short videos to get our eyes in front of the community, so that, they are aware of what we're doing at the library.
When you're doing the videos, especially the events and the children, is there any privacy issues?
You do have to be with children up.
Yeah.
You do, even with people, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily. Like go up to people without asking permission.
Or do you do maybe make it fuzzy or?
Yeah, or something like that if we had to, or we could ask permission before we did it, if they're aware that we're doing something. But I think he was also talking about, like showing people different areas in the library.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a concern. I mean, I think to be fair, you wanna ask permission before you stick something.
Before you start.
Or put a sign up that whatever we're doing, but I
Video
think
progress.
yeah, and to date. And maybe you've done more than what I know, but so we have a bunch of volunteers that take down all the center storage area and push all the rolling bookcases and stuff away, so that's a little bit small. It's not all staff. It's staff, it's board members, it's friends, volunteers, general people, so that was a little bit more, we're doing this and and just to kind of show people, this is the time it takes, because it sounds wonderful, look at that, we've got your little wand, and yes. And we can push all this out and have set up chairs and have people there, and then at the end, we put it all back, and I'll tell you, at the end, when you're putting it all back, those things are heavy.
Yes.
They're heavier on the way back. Go ahead.
So in addition to that, on February 3rd, we had a facility and site communications joint committee meeting. We discussed about the video of the community that I just mentioned there. Talked about some options to get out to the non-library community, because obviously we gotta, get those people's votes as well as the people who already are, on board with the library. And one of the other things too was the Chamber of Commerce, when we reached out to them, had discussed having a survey for feedback. So that's another thing that we're in the process of developing. I know I just recently sent out to committee members, just kind of some ideas I had for questions, but just to kind of get the conversation going on that. I sent an updated quick fact sheet and frequently asked questions out to the board, staff and friends, just so that I try to keep everyone on kind of the same page as far as, you know, the message if someone's asking about the expansion. And we're continuing to work on updating the presentation, as I said, both for the town council and for the community campaign. So kind of taking the parallel efforts in order to try to be successful at our reimagined library.
Any questions for Chris?
The only thing I would say is we're still continually working with the grant advisor that the town has. And not only for this door, the 1772 grant we're applying for at the end of the week is the final application. We made the first tier, so now we're going for the next. We continue to work on the Connecticut Library grant for potential addition. The timing on that becomes involved in referendum and everything else, so it's not like we can apply, but there are many things that we have to do as we approach it. It's very convoluted. So that's another thing that falls under facilities.
And like one of the requirements that we had recently in the past couple of years was a structural engineering report and everything. So that was one of the things that we worked through LARC to get the funding for, and got a structural engineering report for the historical part of the building, because because most of our plans involved taking down, you know, the addition from the 80s.
Yeah. Great. Fund development, this is a committee that, one of our former board members almost single-handedly took over and built, and it was, letters, information about legacy funding, how to set that up, how you set up the other, levels of charity giving, working closely with Lisa, our director, in updating our website, making sure that that's current, working with our, management, financial management company, Dean's got us, to make sure that we're not misstating things, or, you know, many donations are tax benefits, you know, we're a 501c, but what does it mean if you do this or do that for your own thing? Just so that we wouldn't misstate anything. That chair position is currently open, so I mentioned that in case anybody is interested, aware, or has interest and experience in that area. Look at all those hands that just went up in the air.
I'm not volunteering, but what I will say is that our previous chair worked a great deal with developing it on her own, as well as working with our investment advisor. So it's not like you're reinventing the wheel. You can kind of
Right, we have a lot of things there. And part of it is, you know, do we have a letter or an insert that we want to put in the Friends footnotes that goes out that reminds people, you know, maybe at tax time, maybe, you know, if they're setting up their will or whatever, if they want to think about, you know, giving some legacy donations there. Yeah, and just keeping current our website and stuff. So if somebody's going out doing their own financial planning, they have a place to go or look. I'm gonna skip over nominations, Maureen, because that happens at our.
That doesn't happen until September.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then communications, George Bernatha. Remote.
So Chris covered a lot about what we've been doing, including the videos. Just stressing again that we are going to need some volunteers. Doesn't have to be acting or camera ready roles in front of the camera, but like if, you know, somebody help set up or show up at a day and time, get things ready, that would be wonderful. And that's really what we would need going forward, and to kind of to help progress the video, get that out there to communicate the importance of the library and all the things that we offer. So, and if any of the new people would like to join communications, please reach out to me. And I know some people might have experience working in that field, so that'd be great. And, yep, that's all.
And you've also been working on those letters for the 5K race, the updated email
Yes.
that was referenced to. So, you know, it all comes through. Any questions for George?
Hey, next time we swap the order so that.
Say that because, I was thinking we either need to swap or we need to put you right next to each other so that you can dovetail together.
I know I tend to talk a lot, so.
But it is something that we've been trying to do is where it makes sense, have joint committee meetings. So people. You have enough people to work on it, but also so that people are together and it's not, okay, I had my meeting and I'm gonna tell you about it in February, and then you're gonna work on it, you know, the next month, and then it just gets strung out too long, so. We've been doing a good job with that. So we talked about the video volunteers, now we'll go into old business, which is the library 5K race, so it is Monday, the 17th.
Sunday.
This is the second month I've done that.
You wanna show up, then you go right ahead.
Well, I'm sure nobody would mind if I showed up on Monday, but I bet you'd be missing a pair of hands if somebody didn't show up before that. So, Sunday, May 17th is this year's race, and, like we said, our next race meeting will be the night of our next board meeting, and we'll start that at 6:15 and then roll into this one at 7 o'clock.
At this time, I would like to, as I said, I reached out to the DJ. And, I'd like to, raise a motion.
Yes, thank
For,
you.
for, not to exceed of $375 to, hire Mark the Shark Entertainment as the DJ for the Newington Library 5K road race.
And is that his total bill and invoice, or?
That's
Dave,
that-
are we going too skinny? Do we have taxes? Do we have other?
I talked to him directly and that's what he told me. So I don't know if there's anything else that we add on beyond that, but that's what he told me as. I don't remember offhand. I know when I looked at the email from last year, he said, oh, it's $375. He says, I think that was what I charged last year and everything. And I don't know if he charged, by hour, maybe that's how he split it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
for some reason, I think it was 375, but I think you broke it up like setup and
Okay.
other, but.
So should we say, not to exceed 400 again?
Yeah, we can do that just to cover.
380, we don't wanna have to go back to this.
All right, so I amend my motion to not to exceed of $400 for hiring Mark the Shark Entertainment.
Second.
Thank you, Dave Morgan. We have so many people with the same first names.
I know.
I don't know if you noticed, but I try to say Christine and Christopher, not that I'm trying to be too formal, but when you ever read a transcript from these, it's really hard because when they start to talk, when you say, oh, go ahead, Chris, and you hear all the words, which one?
And they probably spell my name wrong too. So.
I think too. Anyways, we have a motion on the table not to exceed, what did I say?
$400 and
For the
Dave second.
You seconded, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries unanimously.
I will notify him and have him start getting into contact with you, Jeff.
You should also, that could go in publicity once we have it signed.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what we were talking about, was the publicity.
Yeah, because people know who he is by Mark the Shark.
Yeah, I was even think publicity, the fact that he does the traffic on a couple of stations, you can maybe get him to get a word
Then
in.
he's Mark Christopher.
Yeah, well,
But he's been marking our
he can make mention,
DJ forever.
and I don't know what his rules and
Yeah, we
restrictions
could ask
are or
him that
whatever, but
question.
if you can ask.
Yeah.
As I said, I remember last time, and it was the same as this time, was a canopy for shade and, or,
And
weather
electric.
and electric provided, and that was pretty much what he requested. He did get a kick out of it, because when I was telling him, because I was giving him my email address again, because as I said, I lost contact a little bit with the email. He's like, oh, we're one of the last few with the SPC Global emails.
Yes.
It's like,
Okay.
so.
All right, so, and again, it wouldn't hurt to say, so you're on the radio a lot, could you slide this in and once in a while? Okay, staff appreciation dinner, we kind of talked about that early on, it seems like a lot of our old business we've talked at the top of the meeting, but,
So I'll throw out some dates to you and then maybe you could send out via email or something to the board. Because we have our staff meeting next Wednesday.
The 18th.
yeah, so let's look at your calendar, because then the next thing is to look at possible, venues and see if they have
The 18th.
those dates available. And then we really have to, book it so we can all figure it out.
So we didn't do one last year. Was
It's
that-
every other,
gonna
it's
do-
every other.
Oh, it's every other year?
It's every other year, yeah,
Okay.
and so my joke used to be, you did it on the odd years because we're odd, but we're no longer odd, we're even now.
It's always freezing in here.
So.
No, it's always crazy.
Because
Part of our building. It's your thing. Downstairs.
Yeah, but she's like that when it started, never mind now that the heat's turned on. So, note to the wise, don't let us run on like this the next time. I think we're all trying to make everybody comfortable and do history with everything, so, next time we'll try to run our meetings more quickly.
Okay.
Handle that Talk-It Vinyl, we've got them set up, we're working on
Yep,
paperwork to nail everything down.
yep, got them into contact with the library, so.
Jen reached out, so we're just waiting on the details for the contract.
Yeah, and I also wanted to just add too, because I know we were talking about promotions and what type of, areas. So I did I sent emails out to the principals of the two middle schools and the high school in town. I found the deans of the art schools for University of Hartford, UConn, and CCSU, so I just sent an email. Whether I get a response back, I don't know, but I put it out there, and I think to see if they would be willing for us to reach out to their art departments, because that was what the band kind of indicated, was that they, draw really an artistic crowd, so.
Good. Thank you. Usually for handle events, we look for board participation. That participation is moving bookcases out and back in. It's also, showing up and being here and, interacting with our crowds. Newington Afghans, I think enough said about, you have an update?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Shakespearean's Productions.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, you keep it.
You mentioned them the other night too.
Okay, so I met with Bailey and Sarah.
So this is another handle possibility.
Yes. It was a professional acting troupe out of Waterbury, Connecticut, and they're called Shakespearean's Productions. They do a lot, it's primarily for K to 12. They have different programs for those age brackets. They do residencies, they do specific, they do like February, March, they do a Harriet Tubman thing. And then they have other programs. Anyway, so we met the other day and they're very excited. And they're going to be contacting Shakespearean's Productions and having like a Zoom meeting and really get more details of what they would
What's available. So what
offer, excuse me, what would be offered, and they're probably gonna do multiple workshops. Something for the younger ones, something for the middle ones, and maybe something for the middle older ones.
Yeah.
So
They got a theme, or is that part of the, an actual theme of?
well, it's broken down into different things for different age brackets, so they have, so it's like, they have a lot of kids in the teen, area that are into acting and things like that, right? So they wanna do something, maybe an interactive improv workshop for them. And for the younger ones, they have like folklore, mythology programs, and then they have, it's a set. It's called The Sword and the Stone, and it's actually a production where they teach like responsibility, trustworthiness, all these different things are adapted into the program itself. So, and that's a one-time shop. So they're gonna talk to Shakespearean's Productions and see what's the what, and then we'll go from there.
Is that something you do here, or do you have to do?
Well, probably do it, well, some of it can be done here and some of it might have to be done across the street. Yeah. So
at the senior center.
at the senior, so each one has a different amount of how much it costs. So the one-time shopping is $1,500, all the others are $300 each. So it depends upon, and so I'm thinking it's gonna be like 2,000.
Okay, so we'll see after their conversation.
Once they talk and have the Zoom meeting, then
Super,
I'll know better.
super, thank you. Okay, in interest of time, I don't think we have anything new on the Newington Afghans, except.
Just
that
if someone wants to take it on as a project, let me know.
Okay. Basically, we own the rights to the Afghans. They need to be updated because they're, you know, the Newington Afghans with little square pictures in them, the cotton ones with the different Newington scenes.
We have the rights to it, but the pictures need to be updated, they're old.
Okay. And that's something that could be revenue producing for us. It could be something that we would be using the credit card square program for, to do that.
Part of a fundraising effort.
Okay, so then open board positions. We're doing great filling the board positions. Thank you for all of you that have recently joined us and your interest. And the old veterans there for your continued interest as that goes through. But we now have, it's two, or maybe a third corporate position.
One. With Iris's resignation.
Isn't it one?
It's just one.
How many people are corporate? We have 9 corporates. We have to sound off.
I'm corporate.
Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're
Who else?
corporate. You're corporate.
Oh, 5.
The 2 new ladies.
Yeah.
7.
Oh, 6, 7, that's right.
Thank you.
I did have George.
George is.
We have 2.
George and Chris.
So that's 9. No. No. 1, 2.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll come up from, we're getting a new list. and
5,
I'll go through
at
that.
least 1. Oh, wait. At least 1. No, you're, okay, that's right.
Right. So the way, the board is a mix of corporate and town appointed, folks, and what we have are 6 town appointed, folks, and then the rest are corporate to bring us up to our total of 13. That's fine. So we just have to figure out if all mine are.
I thought we just were missing one, but just mentally.
So all of our town positions are filled. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's usually where we.
New business, do we have anything new at this point that we want to bring up? Do we have anybody online for public participation?
Absolutely not.
They were there at 7. They're not there yet.
Just cut them off.
Okay, so, again, normally we like to just report on the activities that have happened, so your participation in committee meetings when you're on a committee and you go through. This needs to go more quickly.
A lot of time.
Sometimes I get out by 8. The library closes at 8, so if we run over 8 o'clock, I usually ask that, as much as we like to have a little bit of conversation and visit with folks, the library's closed, so knock it up. and
Move it out.
Which doesn't sound very nice, but, some people have been here all day.
Happy to be here in 12 hours.
Okay, so no public participation, then the other thing is I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
I saw several hands go up. Dave made the motion. Do I have a second? Christine?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody.
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the folks online. You can sign off. Take the time.
Just in case anybody wants to stay, like,